Good morning, Internet. How is it going on? So today we'll be discussing the recruitment process of Deloitte in general and its aptitude test in specific. This particular PDF is exclusively for campus recruitment. See, Deloitte is a very big company, including all of its contemporaries in the Big Four panel. So it comes into various different campuses across India. So the thing is, it offers multiple profiles and the aptitude test, unlike companies like Shaw and ZS, with respect to the profiles, the type of questions asked in the aptitude test also changes. So I'll be discussing specific profiles for which this particular question sets are important and the processes as well. So I'm just clarifying. Please view the entire video so you are not left in any ambiguity. Many a times I get queries that yes, there has been some pattern changes into the question that you have not discussed in the video. The thing is, the question pattern is very dynamic and every day these companies are expanding and they are coming up with new profiles. So it's my heartfelt request that please watch this video and be clear whether it will suit you or not. These are particularly the 7 universities. At least I am sure about that these 7 universities are the ones which follow this pattern in the particular profiles which I will be discussing later in this video. So let us start. So Big Four companies. So for people who do not know the Big Four companies, these are actually the Big Four company of audit and accounts industry. So while speaking about the Big Four, we generally consider Deloitte, EY, KPMG plus KPMG Global Services, PwC, these four. And when we are speaking about Big Four plus, we also include companies like Grant Thornton. So in our upcoming videos as well, we'll be coming up with question patterns of each of these companies in Big Four so that you could have an ease in the campus placements. So let us understand why Big Four. Reason being, Big Four are the biggest employment chest of the entire university. You will understand the importance of Big Four once you pass out from your bachelor degrees. You know what happens that when we are in our bachelor degrees, it feels like these companies are some basic instruments into the big world which you are going to enter. But believe me guys, once you leave your universities and in the masters you try for Big Four, given that these Big Four do not come to the college from which you have pursued your PG, you will understand how difficult it is to get into Big Four. Also, Deloitte is one company which welcomes you with open arms. Once, for people who have already seen other companies, you will see a drastic difference when Deloitte comes to your campus. I'm not saying this because it's a paid promotion from Deloitte, but yes, I have seen the difference in the welcoming aspect, in the aspect how they take GDs and how they take interviews. There is a drastic difference of how Deloitte conducts itself and how other companies conduct itself even within the Big Four panel. Right. So see, they offer different types of profiles. As you can see, it is written here as well. We'll discuss this profile thing in the later pages in detail as well. Okay. Now understand. The level of questions asked in Big Four is comparatively easier than those of ZS, Bain, BCG, McKinsey. But the thing is, this particular ease in questions mostly strike out people who are attempting these type of papers. So what actually happens? We go to our seniors and we ask that how was your paper? So there is a general strata that they will see as the paper is easy. So what people think that since the paper is already easy, there can be two possibilities for each person. Number one, either he thinks that he is overconfident, he has a lot of potential and he directly sits into the examination. Now what will happen? If you are going into a war field without having proper practice, even though the war is among people who are considered the most inferior in the society, you will always lose because you don't have enough practice. Number two, majority people do this, they take questions from the CAT examination, from the GMAT examination and start practicing it. What they think is that if the questions are easier and I am settling out with tough questions, I'll be able to deal with the easy ones. But exactly this is the catch where they most often fail. Why? Because when we speak about specific portions of the aptitude test, especially the quantitative aptitude, this portion is very tricky in nature. Why? Once you have solved GMAT and CAT level paper, you are bound to look for catch into the question. While the question of all the big four, except for PwC, I would say, the paper of Deloitte and EY, both of these are very straightforward. So once you are inhabited of finding out catch in the question, you will not be able to solve the given problem of these two particular examinations in the provided stipulated timelines. This is the greatest problem which my batch people felt. Okay. Now, let us see again ahead. So in the inside section C, a minimum of 6.5 CGPA is mandatory. For the universities which I mentioned, 6.5 CGPA is usually the benchmark, and at no case Deloitte considers backlogs. What a backlog is? If in any semester, usually Deloitte comes in your third year, that is your ultimate year. So in any year, you are left with 4 semesters. So in the previous 4 semesters, you should not have even a single failed subject. You should not have any supplementary left. See, if you had a supplementary in the first and second semester and you have cleared that in your second year, then that is all right. But you should not have any backlog in your third and fourth semester, that is your second year. If any of your exams are pending, Deloitte is not going to consider your application towards the aptitude test. Remember that very clearly. Again, so the aptitude test usually considers 4 sections: logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, verbal ability and reading comprehension, and financial accounting. Now the point to be noted is that this financial accounting thing varies from position to position and college to college. This particular strata of distribution of subjects, like the logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude and VARC, is compulsory for any position you are applying. It could be for analyst, it could be for accountant, it could be for auditor. It is common in all the profiles, but this financial accounting subject varies. Here I am talking about auditor and analyst position. So this financial accounting, even if you are going for an audit role, it will be asked in specific colleges only. So it is usually asked in the colleges listed here. So if you are a student of Ramjas College or if you are a student of any other college, you will not be asked the financial accounting part most probably. But I would suggest that this particular list has been changing since the past 3 years. So I would recommend you that it is better to go through the FA part. It is not very difficult. And being, I am assuming that you all are from commerce background because mostly big four dreamers are from commerce background. So yes, you can go through the FA part. It is comparatively easier only. And also this test timing is about 1.15 hours and it is conducted in an online portal known as AMCAT. So AMCAT questions are really easy. Even if you go to the web right now, you can find out how the portal looks. I was not able to find out a precise picture, otherwise I would have put it here. Now, the catch, the biggest catch is, people who have gone through my video of B-Shaw, they would be knowing what I suggested, that you can toggle through questions. So solve the questions in B-Shaw. What I recommended was solve the ones which you are confirmed first, and then you can jump down to questions in which you face ambiguity. But here, this is the biggest catch of any Big Four, I would say. You cannot toggle through the question. That is, if you have question number 5 on your screen, you will have to answer that, click on submit button, and once question number 6 appears, you will not be able to go back to question number 5. You have to submit it compulsorily. You cannot jump to different questions. Okay. Again, there is no negative marking. So yes, completely fill up the questionnaire. Whatever, even if there is a portion, if there is a question which you don't know, fill it out completely. There is no negative marking for it. Okay. And if I consider with respect to time, there is almost 60 seconds in your hand per question, which is a very, very decent time. And also, there is no section-based question. Like in D-Show, I discussed that there is one question, a graph is given, and 4 subparts are asked. No, this is not like that. There are very few questions in which such sectional pattern is followed. In usual pattern, what we see that only a single liner question would be given, a single question would be given. You have to solve it and go forward. So that is the thing. Now let us look into the distribution. So the logical reasoning part consists of 14 questions, 14 minutes each. VARC 18 questions, 14 minutes each. QA 16 questions, 20 minutes each. And for some colleges which have financial accounting, they go for 20 questions for 20 minutes. Always remember, please don't keep your pace low. Deloitte elimination policy is not on the basis of how many questions you do correct, because the questions are easy. They know that if they are coming to good colleges, people will do the answer correctly. But the thing is, most of the students get striked off because they are not able to complete the paper on time. So be very, very particular about the time. Do not take more than 60 seconds, and the questions are not very typical that will cost you more than 60 seconds. Believe me, it's not very typical. Now, as the time ends, as it always happens, no matter how many questions you have attempted, the module will close and the next module will open. Also, yeah, very interesting fact here. The LR portion, for example, I have mentioned the 14 minutes. So, for example, you have out of 14 questions in logical reasoning, you have done 12 questions, but your 14 minutes has elapsed. You will not be allowed to attempt the remaining 2 questions. You will be circulated off to VARC section. So the sectional time limit also has to be seen. This is the challenge. Now talking about the estimated cutoff. So the estimated cutoff is about 35 to 40%. Okay. There is no limited number of students, unlike the big 3 and unlike the top companies of finance, JP Morgan and like that. Anyone who passes this cutoff, they will come and welcome you with open arms. Okay. They will be selected for group discussion. Again, there are 3 rounds for this. There is aptitude test in first. Secondly, there is a group discussion stage, and at the last there will be personal interview stage. Now the types of position. So you will not be, I am not discussing the postgraduate profile here. These are the ones you can read it out throughout the book. We are speaking about the graduate position, and like I was saying, so a person who is going to apply for tax associate, this particular section, financial accounting section, will turn into tax questions. Again, if somebody is applying for risk advisory, it will turn into risk advisory subject. So I think that you are able to understand what this particular instrument wants to say. Okay. Now see, actually it becomes very, very difficult to find out suitable questions for Deloitte. You can have questions which are very tough. You can have questions which are quite easy. But the biggest problem is, in limited time period, how are you going to find out that whether the questions you are getting are actually the level of Deloitte or not? And especially when it comes to things such as timeline, it is very important to give mock tests. And for mock tests, proper answers are very well required. So to make your work easier, the Playcom team has come up with a bulk of questions for you. You can see the page number is 8 and the total PDF size is 73. So for each section, we have come up with a detailed answer of every question. See, we have a sectional differentiation. This is the VARC part. And for every part, we have detailed answer and questions for each part, so that you don't face any problem in the question solving. Of course, you can find questions online and you can find it anywhere. You can get purchase books as well. But yes, the benefit of this PDF is it is cheaper than what you spent on a burger, as I always say. It is very, very cheap. And PDFs are quite handy as well. You can find out time, you can sit in the college, you can sit anywhere and you can just practice your questions. That is the ease of the Playcom PDF. So if you feel that these particular PDFs would help you in your journey, go down to the description and fill the form. I'm assuring you it's so cheap that once you look at the price, I'm sure you will just go and have a purchase of it, especially the type of value which this particular PDF is offering. Okay, again. So I'll be coming up with different question banks as well, including EY, PwC, KPMG, and most probably Grant Thornton as well. Also, if you feel that there are certain companies for which you want question bank on a priority basis, do let me know. Thank you.